Okay, part two. Interesting, my phone ran out of storage. I guess I hadn't cleaned out my recently deleted file, so did that. And so here we are again. I don't know if I'll be able to get these two videos meshed together, but I'll post them both. So we were talking about the plant beings that require fire to be able to open their seeds, and how fire is that rejuvenator and that great transformative element. So often fire is determined to be a bad thing, and I don't want to minimize the loss of life that occurs when we have big fires like we have right now, the loss of homes. I don't mean to minimize that at all. I've actually had my home, two different homes, threatened by two different fires. One, a forest fire. That was a really scary time. And then a few years ago out here on the prairie, a grass fire. It's interesting how differently those two fires act. I think the forest fire was much more scary because it jumps from treetops to treetops and peak top to peak top, and what was once 10 miles away is all of a sudden at your back door because of the peaks and the trees and the ash and the sparks that fly. With the grass, it's so much more low. It feels more controllable. Which is what we as humans do. We control fire. We're about controlling the elements. The thing that's happening just west of us right now is there's a lot of trees that were dead because of beetle kill. And that's part of what is burning so hot and so fast right now. And part of what they're allowing to go ahead and burn because it needed to be cleaned out. And that's frightening and sad to see all of those animals fleeing, to recognize our vulnerability. It's very frightening. So as we develop a stronger relationship with the planet and the life that she gives us, it's important to be in right relationship with fire. Not just controlling it all of the time, but allowing it to course through in places that it needs to. When the prairie fire came through here, the next year, that area was much more green because of the way it burned off the old dead grass that needed to be burned off, lent carbon to the earth, food for the plants. Kind of amazing how things come back so quickly. When humans were more transient and lived in homes that could be packed up and moved because a fire was coming through, it was out of respect for the planet, for the planet's needs. They'd just pack up their whole village and move. Let the fire do what it needs to. Let Mother Earth have what she needs. Those sticky emotions are represented by fire because they too can get out of control when they're not honored and allowed to move in the way that is suiting to the soul, to the body. Like I said, anger is typically represented with fire. Because we fear fire, so we fear our own anger, our own fire from within. When in fact, what we need to do is embrace the fact that we are gifted with that element of emotion. We're gifted with the fire of anger so that we know when our boundaries have been violated and we need to reset them. This little prairie dog says I'm violating his or her boundary right now. As I get closer, watch, she'll retreat. Go right down her little hole. There she goes. I won't go any closer because she's probably still sticking her nose out there to see how dangerous I really am, and I want to respect them and their space. So I climbed up above the labyrinth here. It's our neighbor's house. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about the fire from within and help us all tap into that, because right now we're in a prime time to be able to do that with the sun in the sign that is of the element of fire, and the fire's expressing from without. So I'm just going to encourage you to ground, call in all your parts and pieces. And drop that cord from the top of your head through your body all the way down through your sacrum, through your legs, and the bottoms of your feet. Tap that cord into the center of the planet, where you can feel the fire from the core of the center of the planet. Fire is very feminine. Where chaos can create new beauty, new life. Now that you're grounded, bring that energy back up into your body, and then feel that red energy emanate outward in your aura, just filling up that bubble that surrounds you, that is your sacred space. Fill that sacred space with red. Feel that passion, what that feels like. Because anger carries passion, and passion can ignite into something out of control. If we don't feel it, recognize it, and hold it in our space, not projecting it out, holding it in our space, allowing it to course through ourselves, be a part of who we are. When we deny anger, deny passion, that's when we can't hold it, and it leaps from our boundaries and creates destruction. So bless the anger and the passion that you have within you as sacred.